We use technology every day.
We always hear about how it's advancing, but what do we really know?
Here's Zack Pettoruto to talk to you about how yesterday's technology can inspire future technology.
The future. Whatever, we're just going to go with it. The future. There it is. It's something we think about constantly. But do any of us really know how it inspired or how it's evolved? In Peter Diamandis' TED Talk called The Future of Abundance, over the past 100 years, the average life expectancy has doubled, the average per capita around the world, adjusted for inflation, has tripled, and childhood mortality has gone down by a factor of 10. Now, many people argue that the past 100 years were the most prosperous times in human history. But what does the next 100 years have to offer us? And that's what my talk is about. Because the gradual, yet accelerating pace of scientific and technological advancement will lead the way into a bright future as it positively impacts the economy, the society, and most importantly, the people within it who can transform our sci-fi fantasies into a unified, attainable reality. Now, before we start, I just have a quick clip I want to show you guys. Apparently it's not on.
Questions are deep within us. Where did we come from? What was before the Big Bang? To us, this is wonderful, charming, and compelling. This is what makes us get up and go to work every day. We are, you and I, at least one of the ways that the universe knows itself.
Okay, maybe technology isn't as advanced as I thought, but we're going to roll with it. Now, the first topic I want to get into is how artificial intelligence evolved. Now, in order to answer this question, we have to debunk two misconceptions. The first misconception is that many people believe that artificial intelligence is smarter than us. This isn't true. Artificial intelligence is more efficient than us. See, it can perform calculations very fast, but so can the human brain. But the only difference is that the human brain does it at a slower pace. But it doesn't mean that they're smarter than us. Now, this is Deep Blue. For those of you who don't know, Deep Blue is a chess-playing robot designed to analyze millions of chess moves within the snap of a finger. Now, if Deep Blue were to play anyone in this room in chess, and I'm not trying to be offensive here, but it would probably wipe the floor with you. But if you held out an apple in front of it and say, "Hey, Deep Blue, what's this?" Deep Blue's not going to know the difference, because a robot doesn't have the common sense that only the human brain has. Which leads me into my next misconception. There are people out there, including scientists, who believe that robots will one day rise up and take over the world. Now, personally, I don't believe in this, but if you do, I'll not judge you and I'll respect your opinion. But hear me out on this. If a robot doesn't know what an apple is, how's it supposed to enslave the entire human race? So despite what you see in sci-fi movies, we're probably not going to end up with something like this. Now, we're going to change topics a little bit and look at the more medical side of things. The future of medicine. Now, for those of you who don't know, this summer, I will be a delegate at the Global Youth Summit on the Future of Medicine up at Brandeis University in Boston. And when they sent me my acceptance essay, this was the question, the exact question they asked me. And I had to think long and hard, what is the future of medicine? And a personal favorite practice of mine is nanomedicine. Now, it's very simple. You have a needle filled with nanoparticles, and you inject into, each nanoparticle has its own piece of medicine in it, and you inject it into the human body. And the way it works is the doctor can wirelessly control these nanoparticles, a lot like driving a remote control car throughout the human body. And what it can do, it can find and treat diseases anywhere in the body. It can deliver medicine specifically to those parts of the body, and it can repair damaged blood cells at the molecular level. In Michio Kaku's book called The Physics of the Future, he explains that this could be the potential gateway to finding the cure for cancer. Now, these are two very specific topics, but in order to understand the full effect, we're going to have to go a little broader. The economy. Now, I'm in AP Economics. I am in Mr. Masucci's Period 7A class. And while I was doing my research, I actually developed my own theory, a 4-step process for what I believe will happen. History has shown us that when there's a technological advancement in the workforce, there's an increase of output. You get more goods. Because there's more goods, the prices of these goods will drop. And the lower price, people now have an incentive to buy these goods. And with more spending, you get more money flowing into the economy. It raises our GDP and our standard of living. And it's an endless cycle that will go on throughout our entire economy. Now, I went to Mr. Masucci and I asked him about my theory to get his validation, and this was his response. The amazing thing about technology is that it's exponential. Technology begets more technology. In economics, advanced technology means cheaper and more efficient capital production, which allows us to create more goods and services and more capital in the future. Just think, the first modern computer was created in the 1940s, the first personal computer in the 1970s, and now there's more technology in the average user's smartphone than what we use to put humans on the moon and bring them back. The point is, the more technology we create, the better off society is today and in the future because we become faster, more efficient, and more cost-effective. Now, Mr. Masucci, wherever you are, I know he's here in the audience today. Wherever you are, sounds like he's over there. All right. Now, the important thing is that technology doesn't only affect our society. It affects the entire world. So we're going to take a look at the global scale and which countries will be most prosperous. Now, Charles Darwin quoted, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change." We are living in a technological revolution, a social change. And the countries that recognize this, that put science and technology first, above all, they will be the ones that will be most prosperous in the future. Even third world countries, if they dedicate whatever resources they have into the advancement, of science and technology, they can play a little catch up and be where we are on the global scale. Now, our own relationship with technology. Will we let our own devices change us and how we think? And the answer to this is no. Because according to Michio Kaku, there is something called the caveman principle. And as simple as I can put it, basically means if you're caught between your primitive instincts and your digital desires, your primitive instincts are going to win 999 out of 1,000 times. Why? Because ever since our ancestors migrated out of Africa, our way of thinking has not changed since then. So they didn't rely on this digital technology. They didn't rely on computers or PowerPoints or anything like that. So, and because they didn't think like that, we don't think like that, but we think about it in a more modern way. So as simple as I can put it, no. We're not going to let our own devices control us the way that we control them. Now, to conclude my talk, what does it all mean? What is the key to the future? And there actually is a key to the future, believe it or not. And the key to the future is you. Every single one of you in this audience right now that I'm looking at, you all have an innovative passion to make a contribution to society, to place your mark on it. Everyone. And the important thing to know is that when you want to make a contribution to society, you can. When you think about it, you have the ability to break the limitations of science and technology. You can expand our knowledge about the universe. You can destroy the barriers of society and drive the future wherever you want it. Everything that I've shown you in this presentation is not possible without you. Now, there will be pessimists out there who say that in the grand view of society, your contribution is insignificant and you mean nothing. But it's their contribution that doesn't matter. It's the innovators, the dreamers, the risk takers, the creative thinkers, the ones who think big. It's their contributions that will matter, and they're the one that will shape the future. Because an innovator once said, because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Thank you.